Y'all do what y'all can, and I do what I want. Y'all do what y'all can, and I do what I want. Y'all do what y'all can, and I do what I want. Never been the type of chick to clear her on my rough. I like them just talking nothing to it, never gave a I draw my son and then I pick my money up, and that's why what is that it doesn't do, don't switch my money up. I never sold out or switched up in the real since day one. If I say they made me, okay, make another one. I say that I put myself on it. I ain't a bit of baby mama, cause I got money. I'm a boss, she my boss. Walk up in the room doing boss. I get boss checks, I get boss bitch. Get the money fast and I spend it quick. I'm a boss, she my boss. Walk up in the room doing boss. I get boss checks, I get boss rich. Y'all do what y'all can, and I do what I want. Y'all do what y'all can, and I do what I want. Y'all do what y'all can, and I do what I want. Hey yo, I never needed your permission to be me. What's understood ain't never gotta be explained.
What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, everybody? It is officially prime time. Do you hear what I'm saying? Okay, so today, today is very interesting because today we're gonna laugh, we're gonna talk about what's going on in the world. We are going to really enjoy this prime time on Saturday. And so you already know that prime time, generally I bring you someone funky, someone innovative, someone whom you may know or feel like you know because you may watch them on TV, you may listen to them on the radio. But today I think this guest crosses so many generations. She crosses so many cultural barriers that it's not even funny. And on top of all of that, she's a comedian. So today, I'm bringing to the platform Miss Maddy Smith. Now, you're probably like, what? Yeah, you've seen her. You've seen her multiple times on MTV/VH1's Wild and Out. So without further ado, I present to you Miss Maddy Smith.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, girl?
What the heck is happening?
I don't know right now. I'm so hyped. You know I'm already hyped because it's like when you post the episodes, I'm like, okay, let me go and watch it. And let me see if the Maddie on the show and the Maddie in real life are the same. Now, my guess was, nah, they're gonna be different.
Mhm.
But what I'm coming to know is that you are the same. You are authentic. You are genuine. And when you say you're going to do something, baby, you produce. And that's what I'm talking about.
That's
So,
right.
Maddie, let's not be formal. We're not going to be formal. I feel like we've had enough conversation to have a sisterhood. So we
Oh,
don't need to be formal.
sounds
But
good.
for the people, introduce yourself to the world.
What's up, guys? I'm Maddy Smith. If you don't recognize me from Wild and Out, it's because I don't have my makeup on. And you know what? I don't care because I got to keep up the skin regimen. You know what I mean? I got to take care of the skin. Foundation's a little heavy for me right now. So I live in New York City. I'm a comedian. I've been quarantined for a few months, so I haven't been able to be a comedian. And I've been watching a lot of TV, and that's pretty much it. I'm very
Okay.
happy to be here.
Oh, Maddie, thank you. And I'm glad you're here as well. So let's just dive right in.
Okay.
All right. So born in New York. So you were born in the heart of everything.
So I'm actually born in Buffalo, which is in New York, but it's a little bit further away from the city. And now I live in New York City. Yeah.
Yes. All
Yeah.
right. So let's come down then.
Yeah.
So what was the transition from Buffalo to the city like?
It was weird because I was raised in like the suburbs with like parking lots and malls and movie theaters, and then you go to the city.
Okay.
is crowded and people are mad at you for no reason. But I always wanted to live in a big city. And so when you get to New York, that's like the definition. You know what I mean? So once I got to New York, I was like, oh shit, I'm living life, you know?
Got it. All right. So now I'm thinking about, watching you on TV. But before that, you're chilling. You're a comedian. Now, how did Maddy become a comedian though?
So another thing is when I moved to New York City, I also had no friends here. So I was like, no, it's okay. It turns out okay. Obviously, look at me, I'm crushing it. I had like no friends, and I was like, I need a hobby, and I was always like the funny gal in the group. So I just started doing stand up after work. I started doing like stand up open mic in the city, and then just started getting booked more and more after doing it for a few months.
Okay.
Really
That's
a boring story. But it wasn't until I was in, when you're like growing up, no one tells you how to be a comedian. No one tells you how to like run a podcast. They're like growing up, my parents were like, you're going to be a nurse or you'll work in HR, something like a 9-to-5 job,
Yeah.
So then I had to figure it out when I moved to New York City, find this scene and make it work with my day job.
Okay, so Maddy, this is interesting. It's interesting that you said growing up, nobody really told you or talked to you about doing XYZ.
Yes.
And I was just working on something last night and I said, unfortunately, in elementary and middle schools today, school counselors are not talking to kids about the creatives and the artistics, right? I always think about Holland's theory of personalities and occupations. And I'm like, when I did the assessment, I was like, oh, wow, I'm artistic, I'm a creative, but I'm working in this profession. I like to help, but I'm artistic and I'm a creative. And so it's funny that you said that because the reality is you probably would have been HR, nursing, or whatever, but you found your niche and you ran with it.
Yeah.
But you started with open mics and stand-ups. So before we even talk about how you got from stand-up and open mics to wilding out, what advice would you give to anybody that's doing stand-up right now?
Anyone who's doing stand-up right now, find a stage and just get up as much as you can. That's like the best thing you can do. It's not like, I get a lot of messages like, where do I start? Just like find a stage. If you live in a city or a town that doesn't have a lot of stand-up, find a stage, get people together who also want to do it and perform for each other. Because that's the way you're going to get really good, is just getting up as much as you can, working on the jokes. Because that was me starting in New York City. I did one mic, and then I did one the next night, and the next night, and then multiple, and then it started snowballing because my muscles were getting really strong. It's like working out. The more you do it, the more it's, like the first day you do push-ups, you're like, what the fuck? And then within 2 weeks, you can do like 20 in a row.
So, absolutely. And that's real. And that's really real.
Yeah, real. And know that it takes a while. And you're not going to be Chris Rock right away. But if you're
and I think that's what people fail to realize. It's so funny that you said that. I was telling somebody last night, I was talking to one of my colleagues, shout out to Frank Mosley, CEO of Sky 4 Records. I was talking to him and I was just like, you have artists that want to just propel.
Yeah.
And then you have the artists that may not have as much talent as the artist that just wants to go fast, but the artist that understands it's a process and works effortlessly to hone the process, that's going to end up being your shining star. Right. And man, it's like when you're speaking and then I'm looking at you and it's just like, I think because you trusted the process and you followed the process, that's why you are so humble and you're able to talk to people about it, because it's like, look, I'm quarantined, I'm chilling. Yeah, I'm on wilding out, but I'm still working. I'm always honing my craft. And so I think that's dope.
I think it's important to be like, okay, I'm on wilding out now, but what can I do to level up next? And what can I be in 3 years and 10 years and 20 years. You know what I mean? There's never an end point. There's always like, I'm 20 years. I want to be like, that was an awesome time. And now I'm here. It's too easy to get comfortable. I think that's why. Maybe it's because I was raised in a house that was like not creative. I'm always like, uh-oh, I got to keep it going so that I don't have to go back to my 9-to-5 job, you know?
That, you know what, upbringing. So we definitely have to address that. I think we have to address that when we're talking about careers, but particularly when we're talking about becoming your own brand. Because at the end of the day, I always say branding and marketing is 24/7, and you got to push your brand like you are pushing pregnancy. I ain't never had no babies, but I see how tough it is. Yeah. And you got to push your brand like you pushing pregnancy. So it's like, when you come up with something, 9 months. Yes. 9 months, really, before you see results.
Yeah, it's really true. You got to. And I think maybe a lot of people get down on themselves because they don't see results right away. It's kind of like weight loss, too. They eat vegetables for a week, and they're like, oh, I'm still 400 pounds. Well, it's going to take a little. You come back in a year and see if it works out.
Trust me. Now, that part. I'm going to plug that because I can go all day on that.
Oh, yeah. Me too. I used to be 200 pounds. I think you right? You said that you...
Yeah, I was 400. When you just said 400, I was 400 plus 17.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry. Your number.
So I know.
That kind of thinking is the same thing in a creative field is like...
The persistence. And I also know that really and truly for you, it's probably a lot different because you're casting for shows where you probably have to look a certain way and fit a certain demographic and a certain physical appearance to be able to even work. So absolutely. Yeah, Maddy, what everybody waiting for, I already know. So let's give it to them.
Okay.
How did you get from stand-up and open mic to comedy? Well, to Wild 'N Out.
Yeah. So I was doing stand-up in the city for a while. Doing well, blah, blah, blah. And then I actually started doing roasting in the city. So roasting is like, roast battling. If you and I went against each other, we battle and blah, 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 winner, stuff like that. I started doing roast battling in the city, and I got a bunch of YouTube videos of my roasting, and I used those to apply for Wild 'N Out. Wild 'N Out was having like an open casting audition, and I used my roasting to submit because it's a roast show. And I went and I auditioned in New York City. It was like a 10-hour day where I sat waiting, and then I stood in front of Nick Cannon and I did stand up and I did some rapping. And then I got called down to Atlanta, which is where the show films. And there's like 8 days of continued auditions before the season. So during that 8 days, they test you out with the cast. They see if you're actually as funny as you were in your audition. And during that 8 days, they continue to send people home. So like the first day, they line up a bunch of people, and the executive producer's like, see this circle? It's going to get a lot smaller. And you're like, oh my God. So the whole week, you have to be professional. You have to be funny. You have to crush it to get to finally what is this first day of filming. So that's the long story short of it. Is I auditioned, but then I had to do a 8 days of more auditioning before getting fully cast onto the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I get it. I definitely get it. It's so interesting because people feel like, okay, I'm gonna link up here, I'm gonna link up there. But when you're looking at shows like this, guys, it's really about talent. Like, you really got to be in there. And there's millions of people that are looking at these things, and those millions dwindle down to thousands, and those thousands down to hundreds, and those hundreds down to dozens. And then you work with that dozen of eggs, and that's it. So millions to dozens. So Maddy, you gotta be dope. Well, I know you're dope. They know you're dope, and you gotta know you're dope. So, all right.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty dope.
But you said rapping. You said that you were rapping. So,
yeah, rapping is rapping. You want me to rap right now?
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm not very good. I mean, my whole shtick on the show is that I have no rhythm. But let me see. Let me see
You
what.
got it. All right.
What's up? It's the name of the game. I'm on prime time. Maddy is my name. Your hair is amazing. It's full of rainbows. To me, it makes me want to show all of my hoes that you got.
Yo, that's forever it. That's it. And you already know that's gonna be your clip.
Crushing
That's
it.
gonna be your clip for your IG. When I crop, that's your clip. So you can play it over and over and over. I don't care. You got rhythm. You good with me because I can't rap either. I will tear up some in a minute, but I cannot.
It's so hard. And then guys come on and they're freestyling and 10,000 words per minute. I'm like, slow down, okay? Let's do the bunny.
So what is it like? Like really, what is it like when you're filming for Wild It Out? What is I mean, because everybody's funny, but I also know that there are some people that are funny when the lights and the cameras are going.
Yeah.
But after the cameras go away, it's like
Yeah.
very introverted.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a lot. Like a lot of people are like, it's probably crazy in the green room. There's probably everyone firing shots at each other, and I'm like, nah, we're kind of like working on our jokes up until the episode starts, and we're all getting our costume and our makeup ready. Like, there's some people on the show who will walk in with their costume still being tied up as we get ready. So it's a lot of, especially for the girls, the hair and makeup takes a while. The clothes take a long time. And you're always changing clothes. You're like, oh my God, I want to wear this instead. So it's, but there is a lot of riffraffing. There's a lot of fun people on the show to talk to when you have a downtime. All of the new people I like to hang out with. I like to hang out with like Young Swag and Lil JJ and Sharon from Canada. So all the new guys kind of hang out with each other, and the OGs like Chico and Carlos, they all kind of disappear. I don't know where they go. I think they go smoke somewhere, but they're too cool for us. But
probably so. It's all good though. It's all good. And you know, it's probably good for that camaraderie, for the camaraderie of you, you know, as a vet. I'm gonna call you a vet and the new guys to kind of make them feel welcome. So that's what's up. It definitely is what it is.
Definitely.
So I mean, all right, Maddy, you know we're gonna go there because we talked about it. So comedian, you roast back, you roast battling. But outside of all of that, you still are human.
Yes.
And you live in New York City.
Yes.
And you work around a lot of people of color.
Yeah.
What are your feelings right now with everything that's going on in these United States of America?
Yeah. What a wild time. Oh my God. If you told me 2020, all this would happen, I'd be like, okay, don't you mean over 20 years? Like this is, I thought I was angry when coronavirus happened and the government messed with us so bad.
Absolutely.
And all these people started getting sick, and I was like, what the hell? And then George Floyd happened and all the protests happened. Then I was like, oh, fuck Corona. Like, I don't, whatever about that. And then Black Lives Matters. Well, I mean, it's already been happening, but it's more at the forefront of what people are talking about. And then I was like, I mean, my feelings are obviously angry, but they're more like, okay, what can I do right now to help?
Solutions focused.
Less like, because right now my mentality is more like, what can I do right now to help? You know what I mean? More urgency. And or like my feelings will come in a year. We'll talk about this. The white people's feelings, we'll talk that out in a year. But right now, just help. Okay? That's how I feel about it. I've seen a lot of people who are like, how can I help? Literally just keep sharing as much as you can, as many articles, petitions, donation links. Because every day there's like a new case to talk about. George Floyd was a month ago, and now we're talking about Elijah McClain in Colorado. So it's like I want to use my platform to keep the momentum going that was happening within that first week of George Floyd to like make it the forefront of most people's brains for until things actually showed. It's the same thing with the weight loss thing. It's like, okay, right now you're seeing like little tiny results, but if we look
Mm-hmm.
back in 5 years, will we have kept the momentum going to make actual change? You know?
Absolutely. Well, Maddy, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for your platform, and I'm thankful for this sistership. I know y'all stay tuned because Maddy and I have a couple of things that we are brewing.
Yeah.
They are still in their infancy right now, but as they become a toddler, we might break them out when they become terrible twos.
Yeah.
So, Maddy, as we wind down, because I got somebody backstage just about to be, he about to be lit too. He lit too. He is spectacular. And yeah. But what's next? What's next?
Oh, hopefully another season of Wild and Out. I mean, it's hard with the live audiences because they got the Rona floating in the room. So we'll see what next.
I know.
But in New York City, I'm really lucky that there's a lot of places to do outdoor stand-up comedy. So I'm finally getting back into shows and stuff. So
Okay.
that's it for me. Just, yeah.
Well, Maddy, thank you so much for your time today, and we'll be talking. But guys, Maddy Smith, ladies and gentlemen, from Wildin' Out.
Yes.
You already know what time it is. She might not have rhythm to anybody else, but she got rhythm to me because she freestyle on my glamour right on the. Oh man, I'll see you later, baby.
I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye bye. Guys, that was so dope and so fun. Maddy is an awesome individual. She really is cool. She really is cool. And stay tuned because we definitely will bring in more other comedians, and you'll hopefully get to meet some more other cast members. But now, the man of the hour. All right. So before I bring him on, let me just talk to y'all a little bit. Because see, this is the thing. I always say this. We look for people, we know the headliners. So, we know Gucci and we know Nicki Minaj and we know Yo Gotti and Young Dolph and, what I'm saying? We know all these people, right? Because we see them. But what we forget is that it's somebody behind the sound. And to be honest, you always want to know who the man or woman is behind the sound. And so today, the man of the hour is none other than Mr. Hanky. What's up?
Hello.
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Welcome to the platform. You can't hear me?
Hold on, I can't hear you.
I think I can hear you real good. You might have to turn it up.
Yeah, hold on. One second.
Okay. So guys, let me tell you a little about Mr. Hanky. So he is a producer of music. He does a lot of different things. But the interesting thing is that
I can see you.
He is.
But I can't
You hear me now? All right. You hear me now?
Oh my God. Hold on. Crazy. So, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you real good.
Yeah, I can't hear you for some reason.
Oh no! All right, so what we're gonna do? We're gonna let Mr. Hanky go out and come back in. But what I think is that you have to know who he is, and the reason you have to know who he is because he has been out here for a minute. Okay, he has been out here for a minute, and he has definitely produced music for, oh my gosh, like I said, Jeezy, Gucci, Nicki Minaj, Yo Gotti. Now, one of the major songs that you probably remember, oh gosh, is I think it's Throw It Off. I don't know how many remember Trill Lee and Prince Rick throwed off, but I know that was back in, I think, gosh, probably when I first went to college. And so he is really, really well known for those particular songs. And like he also spends a lot of time honing his craft as well. So he is from East Atlanta. And the interesting thing about Mr. Hanky is that his mother and sister are trained musicians. And so, with that being stated, he kind of was born into the music. Now, hopefully, we can get him back on. If not, well, he is back. So, we're going to see if we can't pull him in. And hopefully, he can hear me because we can hear him. So, let's see. Can you hear me now?
Hey, I can hear you now.
Yes! All right, look, I'm gonna let you talk. I already been talking about you, but Mr. Hanky, introduce yourself and tell the people who you are.
What's happening, world? I'm happy to be here. First of all, I'm Mr. Hanky, producer, songwriter, producer based out of Atlanta. I've worked with everybody from Soulja Boy before he went crazy, Gucci Man, Yin Yang Twins, Hurricane Chris, Nikki, Travis Porter. I was one of the catalysts behind getting them together. And most recently, I did a California record with Young Dolph, T.I., and Colonel Loud, Rico Barrino. On the way with Luke Nasty, 2 Chainz, and Lil Duval, Living My Best Life with Snoop and Bob Greasy. The Wobble record, Wobble Baby with B.I.C. And that's not the Rona. That's not the Rona. I just coughed. I'm good. I got my vitamin C. But yeah. So this is just to name a few. I know I'm leaving a couple of people out, but yeah, that's what's going on.
All right, so let's go back because I already told them your demographics and I gave them your familial history with music. But
All right.
so, do you still dibble dabble with the trumpet?
That do a who?
Do you still play your instruments?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And so, how did you go from marching band to what you're doing now? Well, what you've been doing for a while.
So yeah, it was crazy. When I was in college at Southern University, I was playing in the band, like you mentioned, and once I got through with the band, I was actually gonna be like a band director, high school band director and stuff. And I went to, see how, work with the kids for my student teacher, and they were just terrible. I ain't gonna even lie. I was like, this shit ain't it. I can't do this shit. Like it's the teachers. I mean, the parents is crazy. The kids is crazy. They ain't want to practice or nothing. So I was also DJing at the time. I was throwing parties, and I never forget. We got some money from the state to open up like this music lab in the music building,
Okay.
and I was literally doing my work study, and my professor, he was like, he had his stuff in there. He's like, don't touch it. I got to read it to figure it out and all this. And when he came back, I had the whole shit hooked up, you know what I'm saying, and was playing music. And he was like, oh, you know how to do this? I was like, yeah, this whatever. So I was playing stuff for him, and everybody was doing, and I ain't think nothing about it. Because I didn't know you got paid for it. I'm gonna be honest. I was making beats in my room. I was making beats for my room and my homeboys. We have been smoking and chilling and freestyling this shit, like shit college people do. And I thought it was some cool stuff, but honestly, I came home during what was this, like Christmas break or something, and
Uh-huh.
I noticed a lot of the people that I grew up with, like Gucci Man, we grew up together, same elementary, middle school, high school. So I know Ray Davis, you know what I'm saying? I see Yin Yang Twins, they popping, Lil Jon, Young Bloods, like all those people from my side of town, and they like,
Absolutely.
right. So I'm just like, damn, okay, well, I got some beats too. Y'all want to listen to them? And I'll never forget, I played them for Yin Yang Twins and a couple other artists. And I came back to school with like $70,000 in my pocket. So I remember, and then I got another check, and I sent the check to my mom to put in my account. You know, I'm in college. I ain't thinking nothing about it. And I ain't even open it. It was another like $70,000 in the check. So I was like, my mom was like, "What's this money for? What is this? Like, what are you doing?" You know what I'm saying? She's like, "What are you doing? Like, you got, like, you want me to put this kind of money in your account? I ain't never got no check like this. What is this about?"
I know that's right.
And then my dad came. He came and talked to me. He was like, "So, if you get money like this, why you in school? Like, you might as well do this shit. Like, well, that's how it happened."
Ah, you know what? The interesting thing is that most people don't really think about honing their talents while they're in school. You know, most people just don't go. But is it safe to say that because you went, you got a different opportunity that allows you to stop going, right?
Right.
Okay, and that makes sense. So, all right, now, where you are now, what are some of the other endeavors? Because I know you're a businessman.
Yeah, I got a couple of things in the fire, man.
Okay.
I got a couple of artists I'm getting ready to put out. I'm getting ready to put out my project. I got a lot of merch for sale, my own with my own, brand and stuff. A lot of real estate in the works. So I take my money and do other things with it. I just don't go to the strip club and blow it on strippers anymore. But but yeah, it's I got a lot of things. Some I can speak on. They're pretty big on the technology side of things. I think that's what we need to do as a people, really hone in on this technology, because we're the biggest consumers of all this stuff, but we don't own any of these platforms.
Absolutely.
So I got a couple of things like that in the works that I about 70-80% done with it. So just a lot of legalities at this point. But
Okay. All right. So you're here. You're here. So there's nowhere else to go but up. But you're going through the ceiling. So what is it that you want to leave? What's the imprint that you want to leave in this industry?
It's crazy. Like, I think I've already done it. Just leave with classic music that made people feel something. Because we're living in this microwave technology now, this microwave world, to where literally, these songs that come out now, like take the versus challenges that's been going on, right? Some of these songs, these artists are 20 years in the game, 20 plus years in the game, okay? And their songs, when you heard them on the versus battles, they were still jamming, they still made you feel some kind of way, you still felt it. You was like, "Oh, I remember this song," and people singing word for word. It was going crazy, right? But I don't know if the current music that the kids are putting out, because it's being consumed so fast. It's not that the quality is bad. It's just that because of technology, it's being consumed and it's getting burnt out like that so much faster than it did those other people, because there was no social media back then. So to hear a song that was a hot song, let's say back in the early 2000s before social media, you actually had to go to a club. You actually had to go turn on the radio. Now, if it's a hot song, you hear it the first thing in the morning. You wake up, it's on somebody's dancing to it on TikTok. It's on somebody's Facebook page. Somebody's working out to it. So you done heard this song 3 times before 9 o'clock this morning. So you get in your car, you go to work, you hear it, you go to lunch. So give it about 3 months, you're sick of it, even if it's the best song in the world.
Yes.
So I think I've done that with songs like Walk Around the Club, Fuck Everybody, The Wobble, Living My Best Life. Even when California comes on, it makes you want to smoke. So
Wobble will always be in.
exactly.
You gave me life with that one. So you hit on so many things, and I can't give it all to you at one time because when I get there, we're gonna do this live, and it's gonna be dope. And I might even have you really pull out some of those old records, right?
Pull up on me, let's do it.
But I thank you for giving us good music, for giving us authentic music, but beyond that, for taking what you made from what you gave us and still planting seeds and cultivating those things for the next generation. That's what I salute and honor you most for. Because Mr. Hanky is going to be known for generations to come. You are going to be a statue that is erected in the years to come. And so I salute you for that. I salute you for that.
Same here. I salute you for your platform. It's needed out here. So I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Yes.
Thank you. Well, look, you got to go turn up because look, it's Saturday. And I tell people all the time in this industry, we don't sleep. See, I didn't understand that before. See, before, when I was pro 9 to 5, pro teaching high school, all that stuff, I slept. But now I realize you got to get Mr. Hanky at 2 o'clock in the morning. You ain't going to catch him at 10 o'clock in the morning.
All the time.
But it is what it is. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. Much love to you. And I'm going to pull up on you soon.
Where are you based out of?
So right now, I'm based out of Richmond. I'm in Richmond, Virginia. But soon, very soon.
All right, well, let me know when you get up here.
I sure will. I sure will.
You know, all the clubs in Atlanta are open right now. So these folks out here.
But you know, Florida was open too. And now Florida is going back down.
Yeah, we'll be
So,
closing. We're gonna be closed in a minute too. So I
so
ain't mad.
but I will look. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there for you, close, and then get there permanently when you reopen.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, peace and love, King, and I will talk to you soon.
Let's get it. All right.
Guys, y'all, I just had the best Saturday. Yo, starting off with Maddy. Shout out to my sister Maddy. Y'all don't even understand how dope it has been. Kicking back and truly getting to know, what wilding out is, what it means, why it exists, but also getting to know the people on the platform and truly understanding, guys, there are people out here that's behind the scenes. There are people out here that's on the screens. And they are fighting every day. They're fighting their own battles and they're fighting battles for the human race. But check this out, y'all. You had Maddie Smith and now you know Mr. Hanky. And see, now you know that the people that's making these songs, the songs wouldn't even be dope if you ain't know who was behind the scenes. But stay tuned because I have so much more coming from you. Tomorrow, Primetime will be back at 6 p.m. And we will have none other than the Los Diggity, artist signed by Skyfall Records, who is getting ready to drop a dope record this week, pre-release. And we will have a special guest from the legendary group Major Figures, Dutchy Man. So stay tuned and remember you've been rocking out with your girl Lily Mae and it's Prime Time with SENOJ. Y'all have a great rest of your Saturday.